Namaskar. I, on behalf of the management and staff of the Assam Tribune group of newspapers, take this privilege to welcome each one of our esteemed guests present here to the concluding function of the Platinum Jubilee celebration of the Assam Tribune and the Golden Jubilee celebration of Dainik Assam in the gracious presence of respected His Holiness the Dalai Lama and our distinguished galaxy of guests on the dais. Good afternoon. The Assam Tribune was first launched as a weekly paper from Dibrugarh on August 4, 1939, and the founder of the paper, R.G. Barua, shifted the base of the paper to Guwahati and transformed it into a daily newspaper on September 30, 1946. It was the first English daily published from the Northeast and got off to a flying start under the very able leadership of Ellen Fuken. The Dainik Assam was first published on August 4, 1965, and noted journalist Kirtinath Hazarika was the first editor. The paper broke the myth that Assamese newspapers do not last for a long period, and now it is the longest-serving Assamese daily. Both the Assam Tribune and the Dainik Assam have been molding public opinion on various issues concerning the people of the Northeast. Ladies and gentlemen, we are truly privileged to have with us respected His Holiness the Dalai Lama in our midst today. The Dalai Lama needs no introduction. He was born to a common farmer family and was recognized as the reincarnation of the 13th Dalai Lama at the age of 2. Though he was forced to leave his own country in 1959 at a very young age, he has been leading a peaceful agitation for the rights of the Tibetan people since his exile. Because of his tireless work for spreading the message of peace, the Dalai Lama was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1989. Today, we are sure all of us are going to be enlightened with his speech on world peace. Ladies and gentlemen, we now move to the felicitation ceremony. Respected His Holiness the Dalai Lama, we are blessed by your gracious presence with us today. May I request Ms. Babita Rajkua, Director of the Assam Tribune Group of Newspapers, to do the honors of felicitating respected His Holiness the Dalai Lama. A moment we will all cherish as the Director of the Assam Tribune Group of Newspapers, Ms. Babita Rajkua, felicitates respected His Holiness the Dalai Lama with a bouquet, a gamusa, a seleng, a beautiful traditional japi for His Holiness. A dunori, and here is a memento. This is a wooden replica of the Kamakhya temple. And a book. Once again, we welcome respected His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Ladies and gentlemen, we are privileged by the presence of His Excellency, the Governor of Assam, Sri Banwari Lal Purohit. I would request Ms. Ragini Barua to do the honors of felicitating His Excellency, the Governor of Assam. We thank you, Your Excellency, for being here with us. And we felicitate you with a gamusa and a bouquet. We thank you, Honorable Chief Minister of Assam, Sri Horbananda Khonwal, for gracing this occasion. I would request Ms. Ritu Barua to kindly come forward and do the honors of felicitating the Honorable Chief Minister of Assam. Thank you, sir, for being here with us. It's a privilege, and we felicitate you with a fulam gamusa and a bouquet. Respected His Holiness the Dalai Lama will now be felicitated by the President, Sri Shiva Prasad Deka, and the General Secretary, Sri Dugdharam Kolita of the Assam Tribune Employees Union. May I request both the gentlemen to kindly come forward and do the honors, please. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the President of the Assam Tribune Employees Union and the General Secretary of the Assam Tribune Employees Union to felicitate respected His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And they felicitate respected His Holiness with a fulam gamusa and a wooden replica of the rhino. Thank you. Let every nook and corner of this earth light up as we all pray for love and peace for humanity. May I request respected His Holiness the Dalai Lama to kindly come forward and light the lamp on this occasion. And I would also request the other esteemed guests present here to kindly join him on this momentous moment. Ladies and gentlemen, a moment we are all going to cherish as respected His Holiness the Dalai Lama lights the lamp. We are blessed by His gracious presence today here with us. And present with him is His Excellency, the Governor of Assam, and the Honorable Chief Minister of Assam, Sri Horbananda Khonwal. We thank His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, for lighting this lamp and spreading the message of peace. The director of the Assam Tribune group of newspapers, Ms. Bobita Rajkwa, will now present the welcome address. Ma'am.
Respected His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, His Excellency, the Governor of Assam, Shri Banwarilal Purohit, Honorable Chief Minister of Assam, Shri Horbananda Khunwal, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor and great privilege to welcome you to the concluding function of the Assam Tribune's Platinum Jubilee and the Dainik Assam Golden Jubilee celebrations on behalf of everyone at the Assam Tribune group of newspapers and my father, P.G. Barwa, its chairman and managing director. We are grateful to you for taking time off your busy schedules to accompany us in marking the milestones of these two landmark publications of India's Northeast and assure you that it will remain our endeavor to maintain high standards of journalism in this part of the country in the years to come. We are particularly blessed by the divine presence of His Holiness, the Dalai Lama today, and believe that his talk on world peace will motivate the youth to abjure violence and make the world a better place. His Holiness needs no introduction, and for his crusade for global peace, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1989. The 14th Dalai Lama was recognized as the reincarnation of the 13th Dalai Lama at a young age and had to assume the mantle of both the spiritual and political head of Tibet when he was in his teens. However, he was forced to leave his beloved country in 1959 and take shelter in India following China's occupation of Tibet. As he had first entered India through the northeastern region, this area remains very close to his heart, as he had himself admitted to the Assam Tribune in a recent interview. I'm proud to remind everyone that the Assam Tribune was the first to break the news of the Dalai Lama's arrival in India. Though the Assam Tribune and Dainik Assam are close to the hearts of the people of Assam, allow me to say a few lines about the newspapers. The Assam Tribune was first launched as a weekly paper from Dibrugarh on August 4, 1939, and the founder of the paper, R.G. Barwa, shifted its base to Guwahati and transformed it into a daily newspaper on September 30, 1946, the first English daily to be published from the region. It was a significant time as the Second World War had just ended and the struggle for independence was coming to fruition. But it was able to withstand all the initial obstacles and got off to a flying start under the able editorship of Ellen Pukon. The newspaper has managed to keep its head high through all troubled times, especially during the critical years of the emergency, when its very existence was at stake. The Dainik Assam was first published on August 4, 1965, with noted journalist Kirtinath Hazarika as its first editor. The paper broke the myth that Assamese newspapers could not last a long period. It is the longest-serving Assamese daily. I am confident all of us will be enlightened by the speech of His Holiness, which will shortly follow. Thank you and have a good afternoon.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will now have the release of two books, and I will take this privilege to request respected His Holiness the Dalai Lama to release both these books. The first one is 50 Years of Dainik Assam. It's a coffee table book edited by Sri Muninbayan, the executive editor of Dainik Assam. And the other one is on Ellen Pukon, the first editor of the Assam Tribune, edited by Sri Joykanta Horma. That was the first book that was released by respected His Holiness the Dalai Lama. 50 years of Dainik Assam, which is a coffee table book edited by Sri Muninbayan, executive editor of Dainik Assam. And His Holiness will now release the second book, which is on Ellen Fuken, the first editor of the Assam Tribune. And this is edited by Sri Joykanta Horma. We thank you, Your Holiness. Ladies and gentlemen, I will now request our Honorable Chief Minister of Assam, Sri Horbananda Khonwal, to speak to the august gathering. Sir.
Respected His Holiness Dalai Lama and Honorable Governor of Assam, Sri Banwarilal Purohit, respected Director, the Assam Tribune Group, Madam Babita Raskwa, and other dignitaries, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and my dear media friends. Today is an occasion for all of us, occasion of divine touch, divine feeling, and human values. The presence of His Holiness Dalai Lama has made us not only emotionally motivated, also spiritually motivated. That is the greatness of His Holiness Dalai Lama. Actually, I have accepted this invitation only to take the blessing from His Holiness Dalai Lama, to run the government of Assam with efficiency, with quality, with good governance. Because the people of Assam have voted us into power with a specific agenda, an objective, that is to run the government with values and qualities. And without value of thinking, effort, initiative, the quality of government cannot be improved. So that is why I need the blessing of His Holiness Dalai Lama to give me enormous strength and honesty and ability to bring good governance to the state of Assam and to run the good governance, to bring the good governance. We need quality people, honest people, dedicated people, committed people for the cause of the humanity, for the cause of the people of Assam. So that is lacking now in this state. I'm honestly confessing. And now we need quality people. That is why I have frequently making the appeal to the teachers community and the sensible citizen of the state. Please encourage and produce quality student so that they can become quality citizen in Assam and India tomorrow. That is must. And for this, we need values of life to be promoted. And His Holiness Dalai Lama is known to the people of the world as a messenger of peace, harmony, and values of life. And also the principle of ahimsa. So that is, I believe, the charisma of His Holiness Dalai Lama. And his presence today will motivate all of us to think for the quality of living in the society. And quality of thinking can create the environment of peace and tranquility and humanity. And I am not here to give a prolonged speech, to be honest. His Holiness, please bless me. With my folded hand, I touch your feet. And I sincerely glorify the contribution of Assam Tribune Group. They have made enormous contribution. And this group has, right from the beginning, I must pay my rich tribute to Radha Govinda Barua, the lion man of Assam, who did everything for the people of Assam, the young generation, not only in the field of journalism, but also in the field of sports and culture. And it is he who has brought Bihu from the countryside to the platform, beautiful podium at the cities. So that great man may not be physically present amidst of us today, but his contribution is always memorable. With these few words, I want to sum up my speech, and I look forward that the fourth pillar of democracy, the media world, will play pivotal role for strengthening democracy in the country, and also they will inspire the young generation with positive thinking. Think positively, do resolutely, victory is yours. That is there. So now it is a question of lacking of positive thinking. Now we have to put our everything in the positive perspective. Positive thinking will inspire not only you, but entire nation, entire country. And also this is the only way to pay our rich tribute to those great forefathers and martyrs who have sacrificed their life for the cause of the humanity, for the cause of the people of the country. And that is why they have taught us to think positively. So that positive thinking is a great challenge for us to bring back to our day-to-day life, day-to-day activities. Mahapurush Srimanta Shankardev, Madhavdev, Ajahn Fakir, they have this teaching to us, but we are simply missing their line in our day-to-day life. So please, let us devote ourselves for the cause of the humanity and with the presence of His Holiness Dalai Lama. Thank you everybody. Jai Assam.
We thank you, Honorable Chief Minister, sir, for that wonderful speech. May I now request His Excellency, the Governor of Assam, Sri Banwarilal Purohitji, to speak to the august gathering.
Chief guest of the function, His Holiness Dalai Lama Ji, Chief Minister of Assam, Sarvanand Sonowal Ji, and Director of Assam Tribune, Mrs. Babita Rajkhua Ji, dignitaries and friends. First of all, I congratulate Mrs. Babita Rajkhua Ji and the entire team of the Tribune for the grand success of this newspaper, which have come to this height today. I am here in Assam since last 7 months. And I must accept that in the morning, along with the morning tea at 6:30, I need your Assam Tribune, and I am addicted to this. I must accept. Without that, I don't take the tea. My tea always waits for the Assam Tribune, then I start. So that much I am addicted. A wonderful paper. In this, no, I can't imagine. It's in no less than any national paper in the country, I tell you. You are equal to everything. Your columns, printing, everything. And regular news is wonderful. And Dainik Assam, I am not reading. But Dainik Assam will teach me Assami within 2 years, that much I am sure. So I just keep a glance at it. So that much in English. With your permission, I am more comfortable in Hindi. So with your permission, I switch to Hindi. There should be no objection to anybody. No? हिंदी राष्ट्रभाषा है और आसाम में खुशी इस बात की है कि हिंदी सभी समझते हैं। यदि मैं हाथ ऊपर करने को बोलूँगा कि किसको हिंदी नहीं समझती, कोई भी हाथ ऊपर करेगा नहीं, क्योंकि 100% हिंदी सबको समझती है। हिंदी अपनी राष्ट्रभाषा है। एंड वन थिंग आई टेल यू, I am also managing editor of English Delhi from Central India. That is the Hitvada, being run in my absence also. Since you are also running in absence of PG Barwa Sahab, so that is being run. Now the team is groomed everywhere. Here, PG Barwa Sahab ने टीम को इतना ग्रूम और इतना तैयार कर दिया है कि कोई चिंता की बात नहीं है। आप लोग भी उनके एब्सेंस में उनके ब्लेसिंग से चला। वर्षों की तपस्या है। पेपर पढ़ा। हाईएस्ट एथिक्स यू आर मेंटेनिंग, आई मस्ट टेल यू, एज ए गवर्नर, एज ए रीडर, नॉट एज ए गवर्नर। वाचक के नाते आपका मैं तारीफ करता हूँ और एक क्रिटिक वाचक के नाते आपका मैं सर्टिफिकेट देता हूँ। इट इज द वन ऑफ द बेस्ट पेपर, हाईएस्ट एथिक्स यू आर। देयर आर प्रिंसिपल इन जर्नलिज्म। जर्नलिज्म में क्लियर है, लिखा हुआ है पहला फेरेज, न्यूज आर सेक्रेड, यू कांट ट्विस्ट द न्यूज, न्यूज एज इट इज यू हैव टू पब्लिश, नॉट ए वर्ड हियर एंड देयर। इतना सेक्रेट न्यूज में रखना पड़ता है। एंड व्यूज आर फ्री, योर एडिटोरियल पेज इज फ्री, योर एडिटर इज फ्री टू राइट वॉट एवर ही थिंक्स फिट। That governor's speech was not that good, you can mention that in your editorial page. Nobody will object to it. But editorial is free. And sometimes temptation रोकना चाहिए। मैं पूरी टीम को कहता हूँ, क्योंकि मेरा भी एक्सपीरियंस है। Since 78 I am in this field of journalism. Temptation रोकना चाहिए, कंपटीशन कितना भी हो। कहीं भी अंदाज से कुछ भी नहीं चलना। एक किस्सा आपको बताता हूँ। When I was MLA, there was a function in Satara, and Yashwant Rao Chauhan was the chief minister. आज सर्बानंद जी सोनोवाल जैसे यहाँ है, वहाँ यशवंत राव चौहान थे। उस जमाने में हम MLA थे। I was quite young. तो एक पूरी जर्नलिस्ट की टीम गई, सतारा ले जाना था। नाइट हाल्ट कहाँ हुआ? पुणे, फ्रॉम बॉम्बे, महाराष्ट्र की टीम पुणे। एक सीनियर जर्नलिस्ट थे, उनकी सिस्टर वहाँ थी। बोले कल तो इसका बर्थडे है, सेलिब्रेट हो रहा है, आप क्यों नहीं रुक जाते? उन्होंने देखा कि ठीक है, यशवंत राव जी तो जा ही रहे हैं। दैट इन्विटेशन कार्ड प्रिंटेड ऑल द नेम्स ऑफ द सोसाइटी एंड ऑल दैट। स्कूल्स का बहुत बड़ा फंक्शन था, दैट वाज सम सिल्वर जुबली और समथिंग। तो उन्होंने कहा कि कोई हरकत नहीं। जस्ट मॉर्निंग में यशवंत राव चौहान एंड 3-4 मिनिस्टर्स दे लेफ्ट, ही नोटेड डाउन द नेम। और ब्यूटीफुल, उस जमाने में टाइप चलता था, ये टाइप पर अपना पोर्टेबल टाइप मशीन पर पूरी न्यूज़ तैयार करके फाइल्ड. But what happened? Pune to Satara is almost 200 kilometers. In between, Yashwantrao Chauhan received a call from Delhi that urgently you come by the first flight. तो वो प्रोग्राम तो छोड़ दिया, अबाउट टर्न होके सब गाड़ी में वो प्लेन से वहाँ पहुँचे. यशवंतराव थे नहीं, प्रोग्राम वैसे ही करके छोटा मोटा हुआ, परंतु हमारे जर्नलिस्ट ने रिपोर्ट एडवांस में फाइल कर दी थी कि बाउंड टू बी 100%. यशवंतराव चौहान क्या बोलेंगे मालूम है, स्कूल के बारे में बोलेंगे, इसके बारे में बोलेंगे, चक्र बोलेंगे, पूरी रिपोर्ट अपना इमेजिनेशन से बना दी. वो टेम्पटेशन कभी नहीं रखना. इसलिए पहला प्रिंसिपल है जर्नलिज्म का, न्यूज़ के बारे में, इफ इन डाउट कट इट आउट, नथिंग डूइंग. डाउट में कुछ भी चलाने की आवश्यकता नहीं है, कंफर्टेबली करिए. बहुत बड़ी तपस्या से पेपर यहाँ तक आया है, 77-78 साल, और आपका गौरव है. 1939 का एस्टेब्लिशमेंट है, स्वतंत्रता की लड़ाई चरम सीमा पे थी. सबसे बड़ा गौरव आपके आसाम ट्रिब्यून का, दूसरे कितने भी पेपर हो, वो स्वतंत्रता की लड़ाई में पूरा राष्ट्र की स्वतंत्रता में आसाम ट्रिब्यून का बहुत बड़ा सहभाग है. ये सबसे बड़ा अचीवमेंट है आपका. उस जमाने के स्वतंत्र संग्राम सेनानियों को साथ में आसाम ट्रिब्यून जुड़ा है, उनकी खबरें दी है, लोगों को मोटिवेट किया है. बहुत अच्छा है. और आज का फंक्शन तो गजब है. इन पवित्र हाथों से दलाई लामा हिज होलीनेस, इनकी उपस्थिति में पूरा विश्व आज इनका सम्मान करता है. इनको देखते ही गर्दन झुक जाती है. हिज होलीनेस पूरा एक जीवन, संघर्षमय जीवन, प्रिंसिपल पर लड़े हुए, क्रोध नाम की चीज नहीं. आज भी शांति चेहरे पे, दुश्मन भी है, कैसा है अपने में है ना, लिखा हुआ है. इनका मैं एक उदाहरण देता हूँ. एक ऋषि था, नदी में पूजा कर रहा था. एक बिच्छू, बोले इसको बचा लें. बिच्छू को बचाया, वो बिच्छू ने डंक मारा, डर तो हुआ ना, फिर गिरा, फिर बचाया. हमारे जैसे ने पूछा क्यों आप ये बिच्छू को बार बार क्यों बचा रहे हो? तो वो महात्मा ने कहा मेरा स्वभाव बचाने का है और ये अपना स्वभाव डंक मारने का है. ये अपना काम करेगा, मैं मेरा काम कर रहा हूँ. वैसे ही हिज होलीनेस दलाई लामा साहब पूरे शांति दूत के रूप में पूरा संदेश विश्व में फैला रहे हैं. ये भी कार्यक्रम जो यहाँ है, आज इनकी उपस्थिति है, ये भी पूरे देश में जाएगा, देश में खबर होगी. ये खाली गुवाहाटी का कार्यक्रम नहीं है, एशियन न्यूज़ लेगा, पूरा पीटीआई लेगा, यूएनआई लेगा. ये कार्यक्रम पूरे देश के हर कोने कोने में पहुंचने वाला है. मेरी आपको बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं. आज पीजी बरवा साहब का याद आ रही है, एब्सेंस है. पूछा था मैंने उनकी तबीयत के बारे में, इम्प्रूव हो रही है, परंतु ही इज़ ए डेड. उनका टोटल डेडिकेशन, उनकी ट्रेनिंग, उनका ग्रूमिंग इस टीम को कि आज आप संभाल रहे हो उनके एब्सेंस में. वैसे ही एथिक्स हाईएस्ट रखना, उनके मार्ग पे चलना, कहीं कंप्रोमाइज़ नहीं करना. गवर्नर ठीक नहीं है तो बिल्कुल लिखना है. सीएम ने कहीं गलती किया तो बिल्कुल लिखना, कहीं डरने की जरूरत नहीं. निडर पत्रकारिता आज तक चली है, वैसा ही पवित्र और निडर होके आगे बढ़िए. हमारी अनंत शुभकामनाएं हैं. राष्ट्र की सेवा आप कर रहे हो, छोटी मोटी बात नहीं है. खाली रीडर को जागृत करके भारत की महान संस्कृति का उनको निर्देश देके, उनको जागृत करके, ज्ञान देके आप आगे बढ़ रहे हो. खूब आगे बढ़िए. हमारी अनंत शुभकामनाएं और प्यार से स्वागत आपने हमारा किया, उसके लिए आपका हृदय से बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. जय हिंद.
We thank His Excellency, the Governor of Assam, for his invaluable speech. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment that all of us have been waiting for, to hear the respected His Holiness the Dalai Lama speak on the human approach to world peace. May I request respected His Holiness the Dalai Lama to bless us with his address, sir.
Even though if you say full life
I always start my talk at the beginning. I usually call brothers and sisters. So now here also, I would like to start respected elder brothers and sisters and the rest of brothers and sisters. Because one of my commitment is try to promote sense of oneness of 7 billion human beings. That I consider something very important, including our own sort of suffering. And now today's world, a lot of problems, essentially human beings themselves created, including violence, through violence, killing. And a lot of innocent people killing. And some country, they are dying, particularly children, due to starvation. We are same human being. We cannot sort of ignore, or we cannot sort of remain indifferently. So since major portion of our problem, our suffering, is our own creation, so then logically, we also have the ability to reduce these problems and to finally eliminate such problems. So this ultimately related with our emotion. Now I want to share with you one good news. That is now number of scientists, now they sort of say found through their sort of say examination or investigation, basic human nature is compassionate. So this is really a sign of hope. If basic nature of human being, anger, then no hope. But since basic nature, human nature is more compassionate nature, so this is really a hopeful sign. There is the basis of hope. If basic nature of human beings is anger, then no hope. So therefore, wherever I go, wherever I give sort of talk, I always telling we are same human being. Physically, mentally, emotionally, we are same. I think governor, respected governor and chief minister also, I think, come from same way, from mother. And then eventually, same way, saying bye-bye to this world. Everybody, 7 billion human beings, say, come same way, go same way. While we alive on this planet, I think we should not create any problem. So therefore, I feel the sense of, the sense of concern of others' well-being on the basis of strong belief we are same human being. Then no possibility to create suffering on others, because they are our brothers, sisters. I do not want suffering, so they also do not want suffering. Once we have full conviction about that, then no basis to kill or to cheat, to deceive or bully all this, the governor and chief minister also mentioned, all these ultimately related with our destructive emotion. So now we have to make every effort to promote human compassion. Not through prayer, not through nice words, but through utilize human intelligence properly. Then you will know firstly, in order to be happy individual, and then happy family, happy community, finally happy world. As it must start from individual, fully utilize our basic nature of human love, karuna. And the other animal also have this sort of seed of karuna, but because lack of intelligence, they cannot sort of promote large scale. We, because of this brain, we have the ability to increase this loving kindness towards entire sentient being, and firstly, entire humanity. So I usually refer elder brothers or sisters, elder brothers, sisters, like that. And you mentioned, I am reincarnation of our Lukatishwara or reincarnation of 13th Dalai Lama. I doubt. You see, 100% I am quite sure I am one of the 7 billion human beings. I may say one of the human being, in spite of old age, brain quite sharp. Not because I'm reincarnation or something, but because of training of our mind. You see, we Tibetan, Buddhist study, we utilize human intelligence maximum way, and through debate, in order to carry debate, you see, raise all questions, all sort of doubtful points, raise, then analyze, thinking. Not just believe. We're never acting like, yes, minister, or yes. We never. Or if someone, even the Lama, tells something, the immediate reaction is, why? How? That's important. You see, the development of our sharpness of our mind. That's why in Buddhist tradition, particularly the Nalanda tradition, Sanskrit tradition, the logical approach is very, very important. So in any way, now I want to see about this newspaper. Some old picture when I first came here, passing through Tibettv, and particularly picture of my mother and elder sister. So, 1959, and of course, 1959, 10th March, it's a huge demonstration took place in Lhasa. The next 1 week, I tried my best to cool down the situation. But then eventually things become out of control. Meantime, the Chinese military movement, each night, increasing. So then finally, there is no other option except escape. The very night, 17th March, there is no other choice except escape with great risk of my own life. But then, so we are thinking, hoping, when we reach southern Tibet, we might find opportunity to talk with Chinese officials. But then 17th night I left. Then I think early morning, 20th bombardment. Then no hope to talk. Then when I approach Indian border, we did it because we little bit of doubt whether the government of India, you see, allowed us go to India and enter to India. So I sent some officials towards Indian border and similarly towards Bhutan border. Then, when I received the message from some officials who went towards Indian border, then the message come, Indian side ready to receive me. Then they cancel money, the border. So when I reached there, my longtime friend, late Mr. Menon, and Atuk Babu, and Yaba Kazila, when I saw them, their face, tremendous relief, like that. So emotionally, when I visit this area and Tawang area, see, the place where I enjoy first time about freedom. And then people, public, as well as the officials, they received me, I think, very, very warm-heartedly. So that a start on my new chapter of my life. At that time, only concern is our own safety. Then soon after, quite large number of Tibetan follow, escaped from Tibet. Then Tibetan concentrated at Mesamari. I think Mesamari is part of Assam or Mesamari? Assam. So you see, No, Tibetan refugee who followed me, about, I think, 70, 80,000. Firstly, they create one camp, Mesamari, very hot, about April. So then our immediate sort of our concern is to try to bring these Tibetan refugees in a cooler area. Then eventually settlement. And also right from the beginning, our main concern is preservation of our knowledge, our culture, and our language, these things. So then eventually, with the help of Pandit Nehru, you see, we create the settlements in different parts of India, different states. Then 1973, my first visit to Europe, few European countries. then I felt, oh, from our culture, from our knowledge, we can make some sort of contribution for those, I say, also the modernized nation. Reason, the material development, highly developed, but many of them not necessarily happy person. Some my friend, I think a billionaire, they have all the material things, money, they have sort of also they, everything. But when we settle, sit down and talk, then I notice such billionaire as a human being, very unhappy human being. Too much stress, too much anxiety, and suspicion. So therefore, then gradually I develop century-old concept, taking care of other. We Buddhists, we always pray, entire sentient being, entire sentient being. So then that seems to be very practical, very relevant to today's world. So then, it's not as a religion, but according to Indian sort of tradition, secular. According to Indian tradition, secular means respect all religions and also respect non-believer. I think that thinking, that concept is very wise. So I approach according to that, not talking about Buddhism, not talking about the next life, just simply how to create happy society, happy humanity. Money, technology, these certainly bring us physical comfort, but not mental comfort. For mental comfort, compassion, karuna. That's the ultimate source of inner peace. So irrespective of whether believer or non-believer, or this religion or that religion, human being, more compassionate nature, so we can promote karuna through education. In this respect, I feel India, I think about 200 nations on this planet, I think only this country, India, you see, can make combination, material development, plus the development of mental peace. You already have 1,000-year-old concept of ahimsa, karuna. Ahimsa means mainly now on physical level, action level. In order to create ahimsa action, karuna is the foundation. Without karuna, with full of anger, ahimsa impossible. So ahimsa, some kind of reflection, reflection of karuna. So therefore, I think you Indian can make some significant sort of example or significant contribution for 7 billion human beings. Now these days now, since this is my first visit to Europe, I start my sort of work, promotion of sense of global responsibility, talking about humanity. And now recent years, now my commitment is trying to revive in this country 1,000-year-old your own tradition, as I mentioned earlier, ahimsa, karuna, with very sophisticated philosophy and logic. So now I want to tell you here, I always telling the generation of 21st century and the generation of 20th century. And respected governor, and I think most probably chief minister also, you also, I think, of course, certainly myself, we belongs to generation of 20th century, now gone. I think 20th century become century of violence, tremendous sort of suffering, according to some historian. More than 200 millions of people killed through violence. That kind of situation should not repeat in 21st century. So now, you see, those younger people whose age below 30 or 20, you are the generation of 21st century. Now, you have the responsibility to build this 21st century should be a peaceful century. In order to create a peaceful century, we have to think about our emotion. Unless we deal emotion level, create compassionate emotion, compassionate mind, you cannot develop, you cannot create peaceful century. So when we talk about peaceful century, firstly, we must try to promote spirit of dialogue. Whenever we find some disagreement, sit down, talk, consider other as human brothers, sisters, then talk. Due to slight differences, immediately you create big sort of barrier. Then the concept of enemy and we and they, that should not happen. So now the generation of 21st century must try to build strong spirit of dialogue whenever we find some difficulties and talk. Of course, nature disaster is something different. Rest of the man-made problem, you see, our own creation. So we have to solve that through dialogue, not through weapon. So through that way, you see, the generation of 21st century, I think you can create peaceful century through education, through awareness, through not prayer, not through prayer, but through awareness. What use violence? Violence, counter-violence, again counter-violence, no end. So we must deal human emotion. In that respect, ancient Indian knowledge about mind, about psychology, very rich. Many scientists really showing genuine interest about ancient Indian knowledge about our mind. So sometimes I discuss the modern psychology, the knowledge about human emotion, and compare ancient Indian sort of psychology, then modern psychology looks like a kindergarten level. Ancient Indian sort of psychology, highly developed. Now, only thing is, you modern Indian, neglected about these things. You must pay more attention about your own 1,000-year-old your knowledge. Should not consider as a part of religion. These are academic subjects and something very relevant to human being, humanity, like that. So that nowadays is my another commitment. Try to revive all these ancient knowledge of this country within the country. Then you can make, I think, a certain significant contribution for 7 billion human beings. So So these maybe also that too much too much some I don't know what to say. I think different ideas, different visions. I think the possibility of these sort of different sort of visions or different sort of thinking become possible because you see you received warmly 1959 when I first come to India. Or first of all, rather you see, 1956 I came Buddha Jayanti celebration. Then 1959 as a refugee. In a way, now over 58 years now, I am guest of Indian government. So I think the longest guest of Indian government. So now you refer, you see, this newspaper, a democratic country. And actually humanity. I always see telling people, world belongs to 7 billion human beings. Each country belongs to the people. And particularly the democratic sort of system. Ultimately, people are the ruler of the country. So in order to sort of carry the responsibility by the people, for the people, awareness is very important. So newspaper have very, very important role. As you already mentioned, you see, information, newspaper must be honest, truthful, and sometimes necessary, frank. Fearlessly criticize if something goes wrong. But all these must be objective, truthful, like that. So, you see, you already praised this newspaper. So, I also see the same view. So, these sort of point you two mentioned, I say, oh, absolutely right, absolutely right. So, thank you. So then once more, I've been here. You see, you people, as soon as an aircraft landed and meet people, I think people, although it's everywhere, people is showing me, I think, warm feeling. And particularly this morning, I noticed that. So I really, some kind of reunion. Thank you very much.
We thank respected His Holiness the Dalai Lama for blessing us today. With your permission, Your Holiness, we have a couple of questions from the audience, and these are the questions which they have written with their names. And if you permit, I'm going to read them out one by one. The first question is from Parag Fukan. Right from Gautama Buddha to Jesus, Gandhi and Dalai Lama, you all are making endeavors for world peace, but it is still elusive. What is the root hindrance? What is the way for mitigation? Right from Gautama Buddha to Jesus, Gandhi and Dalai Lama, you all are making endeavors for world peace, but it is still elusive.
I already mentioned, you know, I think religion, faith alone will not bring peace. Through education now. As I mentioned earlier, you see, human nature is more compassionate. Now, existing education system is very much oriented about material value. So now, the existing education not adequate about to bring more compassionate person. So, I think India's secular concept, according to secular concept, I think in existing secular education, she should include some sort of secular ethics based on, firstly, human experience, common experience. We all come from our mother. We all received maximum affection from our mother, even animal. And then we are social animal. Social animal, friendship is very important. In order to develop friendship, trust is key factor. In order to develop trust, you must show them your sense of concern. Then trust comes. So therefore, as a social animal, warm-heartedness is key factor to create a happy society or trusted society like that. So use these things. And scientists, now scientists, they say constant anger, constant sort of hatred and fear is very bad for our health. Actually, some scientists say constant sort of experience these things is actually eating our immune system. Other hand, more compassionate mind, your physical condition also maintain good position. So, now scientists, whenever over 30 years, I have serious discussion with scientists. Through so many years, you see, we learned meeting with scientists is something mutual benefit. We learn many useful information about physical or cosmology on many points. And the scientists, they learned many useful information about our emotion and the system of emotion and how to tackle emotion. So now scientists, they say, healthy body need healthy mind. Anger is very bad for our health. So these are not depend on religious belief. It's a scientific finding. And then finally, as I mentioned earlier, human nature is more compassionate. So use these common experience and a common sense and scientific finding. On these basis on these points, we can educate people, children, from kindergarten level up to university level. Actually, some individual, some organization, now in this country, and also some from America, and also Europe, now more and more people showing in education field must include education about our healthy mind. So that's, I think, proper way, not just prayer or just religious belief. No, use common sense and the scientific finding like that. So then, I think through education, you see, humanity, say 16th century, 17th century, 18th century, 19th century, or 20th century, I think human change or even modernization, education is key factor and experience. Now look, the spirit of European Union after Second World War. People suffer immensely through war. So then they use common sense. Now, common experience, common goal, common interest is more important than individual sort of country's interest. So European Union start. Now some problems about European Union. Already Great Britain now already living like that. So in any way, I think I feel humans are also through experience, tremendous difficult experience during wartime, First World War, Second World War. Then after that, people, on the basis of reconciliation, now eventually they start European Union. For example, French and German. I think through centuries, enemy, but that completely changed. So therefore, I think human experience, I think I often is telling people, the early part of 20th century, when nation declared war, every citizen of the nation proudly joined the military, war effort. But later part of 20th century, that kind of attitude completely changed. So these are, I think, a sign of awareness, deeper awareness. So therefore, now, if we, educate people from kindergarten up to university level about inner peace, I think the world can change. The later part of 21st century, I think will be more compassionate world. I feel that. Next question.
Thank you, Your Holiness. The second question is from Dr. Geeta Borwanath. Love all, serve all, help ever, hurt never. Is it possible to instill and implement in each human being for world peace?
Here, maybe, I think, few hundred people. Each, they have, I think, at least 10 friends. So, from one person, try to share about the clear sort of awareness, the importance of warm-heartedness. Share with your 10 friends. Then each 10 friend, I think each 10 friends. So 100 people. Through that way, 1,000, then 10,000, then 100,000. That's the way. You see, making contribution. I also feel, when I think these things, then feel, oh, I'm just one person. I cannot do much. Then think, change of human mind or humanity's thinking. I say, we individual, from individual, we must start. Not waiting some government's order or United Nations order. No, we individual have the responsibility from one individual, 10 individual, 100 individual, 1,000 individual. That's the way to change. So therefore, each of us have the ability and opportunity, create that way. You, Assam is here, see you die. At this stage, already, you see, you mentioned a very nice thing about, I come from Western India. So I do not know much about East India. So you see, try to, through personal contact, firstly, your own family. First, you must create a family full of love, full of trust, no matter rich or poor. or educated or uneducated, same human being, same human family, must create, affectionate family. That's the way. Then next.
Thank you.
Then I think in that respect, I think me, monk, no family. So you, lay people with family, so you have better opportunity.
Your Holiness, the next question is from Dhiraj Kumar Sharma from Chanmari. The 21st century youth is much more sensitive, educated, and concerned towards various issues of this world. Still, they can easily be manipulated in violent activities. They know all its harms. Then what shall be done to guide them?
As I mentioned earlier, you see, we must utilize individuals' intelligence maximum way. As I mentioned earlier, you see, we should not acting like yes minister, whatever someone say, oh yes, yes, yes. Don't do that. If someone telling you, investigate why, how, what is the motivation, what is the purpose, must investigate, think. Otherwise, it's some quite the wicked person, easily manipulate. So we must utilize our intelligence maximum way. Investigation, that's very important. I'm so student of Nalanda tradition. So in Nalanda tradition, Sanskrit tradition, the logic considered very important. So logic means, so logic means you never accept easily. Any point to come, why, how. That's very important. And then plus our education system, secular education, must include some moral ethics. Not next life, not for next life, or something heavenly, heaven. We're simply telling them the moral ethics is very important to create healthy individual, happy family, happy humanity, like that. So, logical thinking is very important. Okay, next.
Thank you, Your Holiness. The next question is from Loya Garwala. If you were to come face to face with an armed terrorist, what would be your immediate reaction to him, and how would you calm him down?
I think firstly, try to escape. Sometimes you see, I telling people, oh, compassion. It's very important practice of compassion. But when mad dog come, compassion no longer practical. Like this. So I think long run, I feel so-called terrorists, these are human beings. When they're born, not just terrorists, as a normal human being. They received, I think sometime back, I think 20 years ago, 10, 15 years ago, when Iraq crisis happened, one of my friends, an American senator, we just talk. And then he told me, his young son, he said, ask him, oh, Saddam Hussein, when he was young, he must have received maximum affection from his own mother. That is true. So all these people, including these so-called terrorists, they're also human beings. See, basically, they're also compassionate. But because, you see, the basic human value becoming dormant, our intelligence influenced by anger. So then these people, you see, become or ruthless or destructive person. So if we so-called try to countermeasure to these terrorists, create more weapon, more military sort of forces, I don't think this is proper way. Consider them as a human brother. Recent years, you see, I expressed publicly the term Muslim terrorist. That's wrong. Terrorist is terrorist. Muslim follower of Islam, Quran, Islam. Some individual, like in Burma, some Buddhists harming some Muslim in Burma. So one time in Time magazine, the cover page, you see one picture of one monk and describe Buddhist terrorist. So this sounds quite sort of, I think, uncomfortable. I'm Buddhist. So when you say Buddhist terrorist, some individual who belongs to Buddhist community, yes, some mischievous people must be there. So like Islam, genuine Muslim who follow Quran sincerely, seriously, like any other religion, very nice person. But then, you see, among the Muslim, among the Buddhists, among the Hindus, among the Christian, among the Jews, some mischievous people are always there. They cannot represent the whole tradition. Actually, afterwards, the September 11th event in New York and Washington. After 1 year, one kind of prayer meeting in Washington, National Cathedral. They invited me. Somehow I was there, so they invited me. So I told there, some of these mischievous individual Muslim behavior, due to that, if you generalize Islam is something militant, it's wrong. Any follower of religion, there are some mischievous people always there. They never represent the whole tradition. So like that, so these people, I think we must reach out, cool down their mind, and try to let them grow basic human nature. That's a human love. Then these things gradually can reduce. As I mentioned there, some violence. Then through counter-violence to try to destroy, impossible. Through force, you can control physical, but used through force, you can control our emotion. Emotion can change only through loving kindness, isn't it? Next.
Thank you. This question is from Risha Barwa. How is peace possible in the present context of nation-states as their existence is based on social control through covert and overt forms of violence?
As I mentioned earlier, judging event in 20th century, early part of 20th century, later part of 20th century, big differences. Now, I think voice of peace everywhere growing. And event within the 20th century. I think one example, South Africa eventually become a democratic country under the leadership of Nelson Mandela and Bishop Tutu and so on. And many dictators countries were, not through force, but a public sort of the public movement change. Like one time in the Philippines, one dictator, in Chile, one dictator. These changed by public sort of the pressure. And the Soviet Union, collapsed Soviet Union, not by external force, but by their own people. So, I think things, you see, I think decade by decade, really changing. Now people, I think, for example, I think Japanese suffer a lot under American military forces, including 2 nuclear weapons, nuclear bomb. But no sort of indication of spirit of revenge or resentment. Similarly, German people, I think these are one example. I have sort of genuine interest about quantum physics. So David Bohm, I received many lectures about quantum physics from him. And then another quantum physicist was the German physicist, von Weizsäcker. So then, sometimes I also jokingly telling, I received sort of long lecture about quantum physics from these 2 persons. When I listening their explanation, it seems I understand something. After finishing our lesson, nothing left here. So I'm hopeless student of quantum physics. So in any way, you see that von Weizsäcker, once he told me, that's 1990s, you see, he once told me, when he was young, every French eye, German is their enemy. German eye, also similar. Then he told me, nowadays, that kind of concept completely disappear, completely change. So these are the sign of improvement. So like that, I think human becoming more mature and available information. Now, I feel there's really, I think because of the soil. Now we must cultivate, seed, further develop peace through education. That's my view.
Thank you, Your Holiness. This is one last question. Greetings and regards, Your Holiness. This is from Rashmi Narzari, Sahitya Academy winning author. She writes, Your Holiness has laid importance on talks and delegations to achieve world peace, but in instances where the other faction refuses to come to talks and delegations, then A, Is there an alternative approach towards peace in a human and compassionate manner? If so, what might it be? And B, if not, will it mean that we have surrendered to the whims of the other faction?
Of course, it's in different circumstances. I think generally we must stand firmly on non-violent principle. And that must sort of combined with compassionate mind. Then, through that way, at the beginning, some distance, the person who have a different view, through determination and with principle and patience, gradually can change that. And then, say in a certain circumstances, yes, almost is impossible, that kind of approach. That also is possible. But then we have to use human intelligence with combination of genuine love, and then take appropriate decision.
Thank you, Your Holiness. Thank you very much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the interactive session. His Holiness the Dalai Lama has accepted to have a photo opportunity with the family members of the Assam Tribune. So I'd request the members to kindly come forward, please, for a quick photo opportunity with respected His Holiness the Dalai Lama. We would quickly request the family members of the Assam Tribune to come on stage for a photo opportunity with His Holiness and also with His Excellency the Governor of Assam and the Honorable Chief Minister of Assam. We request our other guests present here to kindly remain seated, please. We heartily thank respected His Holiness the Dalai Lama for his gracious presence today here. We were blessed by his address, a human approach to world peace. We thank His Excellency the Governor of Assam, Sri Banwarilal Purohitji. Thank you very much. And we also thank the Honorable Chief Minister of Assam, Sri Horbananda Khonwal, for his gracious presence in this meeting.